Okay, not sure if I'm not sure if you can hear me or not. Um, um, had somebody make fun of me for saying That's my thinking now. That's my thinking sound. If I'm going I'm thinking, trying to decide what I'm going to talk about, what I'm going to do. Hey, 12-step woman, how are you? Doocy dude 2. Your name is very hard to say. Hi, Sandra Chapman. You were number 1, Sandra. Skidinona. Hey, Kim. How are you doing? Yes. Stacy's heart. Margot, welcome. Very good. So you guys can hear me. Good, good, good. Well, hi, everybody. Trying something new. I'm actually streaming to 2 channels right now. And so I'm going to see what happens because I've never done it before. So we'll see how that turns out. Hey, Diane, welcome. How are you? Hey, Loosely, good to see you. Mississippi, how are you doing? River Queen, Scarlet. Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. Hi, Callie Connect, welcome. Okay, and kindness matters. Yes, it does. Absolutely. Hey, Cat's Eye, how are you? Yep. Love Stephen King. Hey, Thing One, where's Thing Two? One of these days, we're going to see you come in, and then right behind you is going to be Thing Two. It's going to be great. Okay. Now then, hi, Rain Girl. How are you? I am well. Thank you for asking. Scott, Southwest by West. How are you? Hi there. Lots of people today. My goodness. A classic movie. A great movie. Yeah. Hey, Yin Yang. How are you? Norway. Wonderful. I'm jealous. Hey, Freudian Slip. How are you doing? All right. Honey K. How are you? All right, everybody. Yeah, so lots of you guys. I honestly thought that you guys would be all up in the drama. There's so much drama going on. Um, None that we're a part of. Thank you, God. Right. Um, but but there is drama. I mean, it's YouTube. Let's face Can you hear me now? Why is there no sound? Now you do hear me. Huh. Well, welcome back. Where did I lose you? What was I saying the last thing you guys heard? You've now become lip readers. Oh, maybe you didn't hear anything I said. I don't think y'all heard anything I said, did you? Okay. Drama everywhere. Okay, so that's the last thing you heard. Okay, so drama everywhere. Yeah. So there's going to be a showdown between Hot Air Betty um, and Molly Golightly. And to be fair, I'm gonna have to side with Molly Golightly on this one. The things that this other lady has done, she did some pretty. I think it was pretty. That well, there were several things that I completely disagree with. One is that she took some recordings that were done of Molly's face, of Molly while she's there. She recorded it, she took video of it, and then she waits a whole month since they've been in Tennessee, since they've been talking about the Summer Wells case. I mean, and then out of the blue, out of nowhere, because her views are doing what? Tanking. Oh, guess what? We got to do another Summer Wells video. Oh, well, too bad. So sad. I guess I'll put up a recorded phone call between Molly Golightly and Don Wells and see if I can get some of my views up before payday. Right. So, and she hasn't spoken. Oh, now I'm not friends with Molly Golightly. She and I don't know anything about each other. But she said on her channel that this boots in the air lady, they've had no contact at all, not even a phone call, not a text message, nothing since the whole debacle in Tennessee. And then out of the nowhere, she airs this footage of Molly. It's the craziest thing. I would be raised in hell too. I would be raised in hell too. I completely agree with Molly Golightly on this one too. It's creepy that this woman just after she, you know, basically abandons, the offer that she made to Molly Golightly, or the agreement they had, after she completely abandons the agreement they had, all of her views start going down. She's losing subscribers. She's bleeding subscribers, like bleeding subscribers. And so she says, "Oh, well, yeah, I got this phone call with Don Wells. Let me air it." Pretty low rent, in my opinion. So, what about you guys? What do you think? If you think that Boots in the Air is in the wrong, that she aired the recording because basically her channel is dying, put a 1. If you agree that Boots in the Air was completely within their right to air the footage, put a 2. I'm just curious what you guys think. Right, Callie. I know, right? Hey, dirty lies and alibis. Wish list boxing gloves pay-per-view. People would pay for that show. Okay, so we got Turquoise thinks that it was within her right. Okay, so most people are, You probably shouldn't have put the call out there. And I'm going to guess that the couple of people that put a 2, I'm going to guess that it's because of the belief or the idea that I recorded this, it's on my phone, therefore I can do with what I want to. Right? I mean, that's kind of what someone said to me when I asked them to play devil's advocate. I'll tell you why I'm different than that, because I had that thought. But the reason that I think it doesn't hold is because Molly Golightly has a YouTube channel. She's a people know who she is. She makes money by appearing on her own channel. So it's a little bit like taking a photograph or a piece of art. You're using she uses her image to make money. So I think they're both doing wrong to each other. Oh, turquoise, totally. No, I didn't say anyone's taking the higher ground, but if I have to choose a side, I'm going to have to say I would agree with Molly. I don't think that Audrey should have put out Molly's recording of her talking to someone because her job is, Sage. Okay, so give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Okay, my little dog is having a little trouble. Hold on. Okay, sorry about that. So, so if you go, let me look really fast before I say something that I, don't know what I'm talking about. I do always try to know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Oh Lord. Okay. Well, um, wow. That's kind of crazy. Let me okay, I'm gonna share this just a second. I look rough today. I am sorry. I should have fixed myself up before I came on the camera. Sorry about that. Okay, hold on 1 minute. I'm gonna share this. It's pretty amazing. Okay. So okay. So earlier when all the drama broke out, right? When all the drama broke out and it was off the chart, crazy. I looked and Boots in the Air, Bullhorn Betty, she was down to like I think like 7,400 subscribers. And that was probably let's see, it's before I left work, maybe maybe 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, maybe. May have been a little bit later than that. Wasn't earlier than 2 o'clock, but maybe around 3:30. She had 7.4 thousand subscribers, right? And Boots in the Air is now at can't get my screen to work. There we go. Ha. Uh-oh, Betty. Uh-oh. Tactical error, Betty. You made a bad choice. Yeah? 6.8. That is nearly 1,000 subscribers gone in a few hours. Right? Whew. Very bad choice. She was in the upper 8,000. You know, T-Please, I think when they were up in Tennessee, I thought at one point that she was in the 9,000s because I thought to myself, ooh, she's going to hit 10,000 off of this little trick she's doing. Because I felt like from the beginning that she was using Molly Golightly. That's what if y'all thought that she was using Molly Golightly, this was a bid, you know, to grow her channel, put a 1. If you think that she legitimately wanted to be friends and you know, felt like she and Molly were going to work well together, put a 2. Oh, me neither, 12 step. Oh, no. Totally not even interesting, right? Okay, so see, look, everybody saw it. Everybody knew what was happening. Everybody knew what was happening. She thought she was going to come in there and she was going to put Molly in her place, and then she was going to take over as queen of daytime, you know, YouTube drama. People, that's just foolish. It's just foolish that she ever had that thought. And you know, you can definitely see that when they were up in Tennessee, everybody was watching from Molly's channel. You know, people wanted to hear from Molly. Everybody was looking at Molly's footage. I mean, it was clear. Don wouldn't talk to any of them but Molly. And you know, you can hear them in the back room, you know, say, oh, well, this isn't working out like we thought. Her people are not falling in love with us. Well, no, because they've been with Molly for years. They're not going anywhere. So she made a serious tactical error. But I thought it was so interesting when it all kind of blew up today, and I was watching, and I don't know what people. YouTube is a weird place, right? It doesn't go by, and let me show you because I got a couple people asking. Hold on. This is the video that stirred up all the drama.
We don't penalize pets for getting older, and we don't penalize pets for being unlucky, because in both those cases, it's not the right thing to do. It's not fair. We're a lot more transparent, and that if you enroll in the puppy price category, you'll stay in that price category. And notice she put up that stupid little sign that said no drama zone. Please. She knew damn well this was going to blow up in her face.
Allegations.
I mean, you're a little bit like Jody Arias, Audrey. You should have at least put some makeup on for the show, you know? So this is what got everything all turned out. I can't hear it. I don't know why we don't have any sound. Do y'all hear it? No, y'all do not hear it. I don't hear it either. I wonder why. Well, everything's working. The speakers are on.
He does not adamantly say no.
Maybe she.
They still have,
like the pretty ones.
they just drop off their butts and shit, man. And I mean, none of them dogs are ours. None of them. We feed them. That's all we do.
So you did go down there and take the dog food and stuff?
Yeah. Let's say again.
So you did go down there the times that, we left the food for them?
So it looks like maybe she uploaded a different.
Yes.
I think she's fair with you. She's very
we
fair.
We turn to YouTubers for help to find Summer, and
but that's what we came here for. That's why I'm so confused. That's why I'm so angry.
All right.
You know?
I get it.
Yeah. So it's like, well, the thing that you had said, like just before, I never knew that you were in federal prison. When was that? I don't even know how I don't know that.
How did you know about that?
You just said that.
I just said that.
Yeah, you said that you were in federal prison. I was like, what?
Yeah, my fucking big mouth. God damn, I almost slapped the fuck out of myself.
It's all right. Don't worry.
No, it's not.
It's fine. I don't care.
Oh, it's not. I got a big mouth.
Don't worry. I'm
in trouble all the time.
No, it's. I don't know.
Okay. All right. So that is a sample of what, you know, basically called boots in the air to blow her channel up. So she's now down to 6,800 subscribers. I think it's going to get, if she's going to leave that up, I think it's going to get much worse. And I actually sort of think maybe the damage is done and it really won't make any difference because Molly has gone live and she's very unhappy. To her credit, she did not tell everybody to unsubscribe. They did that on their own. So anyway, so I got thinking about it and all the other crazy things that I've seen on YouTube where there were creators who were trying either to build their channel up or they're trying to get views. You know, the views with YouTube I have found to be strange, to say the least. I don't see any rhyme or reason to the algorithm. It doesn't matter if I make a video every day or if I make a video once a week. It doesn't seem to correspond to views or how much YouTube is sharing your video. It doesn't seem to have any effect. I don't know. I'm kind of to the point now. I think that you almost require those big stories like Chris Watts and Summer Wells and to some extent, I guess Lori Vallow, Chad Daybell are probably going to be same. It's almost like you almost need those big stories for new people to find your content. It just doesn't seem to matter. And you can go and you can listen to all of the YouTube video creator videos that say, you know, how to grow your channel in 11 days and, you know, foolish little things like that. Really and truly, you do those things that they suggest and it's not there. It really doesn't make any difference. I know because I've tried. I've told myself, okay, I'm not going to make a video for a week. And then I'm going to make a video every single day. And then I'm going to make a video for like twice or 3 times a week. And you just don't see any real appreciable change. Now, what you do see, in my opinion, where I have seen appreciable change, not just with my channel, but watching other channels, if a creator goes crazy, if a creator gets really emotional, if a creator gets herky-jerky and acting bizarre and filled with anger or crying or screeching, I'm scared, any extreme emotion, that immediately translates into what? Views, right? That's one of the reasons why I say that YouTube has made a terrible mistake with their algorithm because they're rewarding chaos. They're rewarding chaos and they're not rewarding high quality or good quality content, right? So what do you do about that? I don't know. I don't know what the answer is other than having some dignity, being respectful, respectable, and just saying to yourself, I don't care about the views. I don't care about the number of subscribers that I have. What I care about is that the quality of my content that I put out is something that in 10 years from now, I'm going to be proud for my grandkids to see. In 10 years from now, I'm be proud for the little old ladies at the tennis club to see my content. I really think that is about all you can do. I've really reached that point, except for if you're willing to engage in behaviors that are just low rent, right? Is that a good term? Low rent? Now, what about the exact opposite of chaos? Right? Because we have these are creators too. You have creators that stir up a whole bunch of drama, right? They go live, they're live for hours, they have panels that come up, and then they do this bashing and hating on another YouTube creator. And then their supporters come in and have an argument with the other person's supporters. And so, you got a lot of cussing and a lot of yelling, and you get views, a lot of them. But what about people doing exactly the opposite, where they do something horribly boring? Any of y'all seen a creator attempt that tactic, where they do something terribly, terribly boring, but they stay online for hours and hours and hours and hours, right? They're not really making content. They're not really making anything that is instructive or interesting. They're just like keeping the camera connected. That's all. Keep the camera connected, stay logged in, and keep on talking, or keep something happening, because that turns out to be views. Correct? So what are some things that could be done? Well, you might have people that just sit online and just read to you. They're just reading. They're not even reading something they wrote. They just take something that someone else wrote, and then they just read and they read and they read. And 3 hours later, they're reading and they're reading and they're reading, right? How about this tool? How about just getting some friends to come up and just sit around and talk about, where you went today and what stores you went to and how many things that you bought, and if you're going to try to cook later, and where's your husband or wife and your kids and your parents, and what are the dogs doing, and when are their vets? You're getting minutes. You're getting minutes. So it may look inane. It may look crazy. It may look like, oh, what is happening here? How do you just sit and listen for hours on end of nonsense, nothingness, right? Well, it's getting views. It's getting minutes. It's still generating some activity for the algorithm, right? But is it worthwhile? Is it something that somebody's going to sit down in 5-10 years and watch and go, wow, that's really interesting? So there is that tactic. One of the things that I saw that made me start thinking about this was, what is her name? Mallory. What's Mallory's channel's name? Do y'all watch Mallory? Mallory at Large? No, not Mallory at Large. Mallory. What is her name? Do y'all know who I'm talking about? She sings. It's kind of like big showgirl kind of deal. She stole your content the other day. She's too busy spying on other people. Did she? Who stole my content, Mitchie? Right, Margot? Yeah, you start thinking about it and you think, oh, so all I got to do to make a paycheck is just like keep my camera. We know someone who was doing that towards the end. What about Miss Effin' Wonderful? Mallory at Random. Yes, I love Mallory at Random. Do you watch her, Nana? Yeah, yes, I love her. So, okay, so I was listening to Mallory, and look, Mallory's real lighthearted. She's funny lady, you know, she doesn't take much seriously. And that's what she was saying. You know, she was saying when you begin to see these creators who are they're just turning their cameras on, and then they're cleaning the cat box, and they're, you know, cooking scrambled eggs, and then they're on the phone talking to their mom, and then they're, you know, scrubbing the kitchen sink. You're just looking at someone whose channel is dying, and they're terrified that their regular viewers are going to go off and find a new channel that would be interesting to watch. So you're just trying to keep them there at, you know, by being online continually and constantly. But that didn't really factor in my head, because I thought, yeah, but if you're doing that, aren't you boring your subscribers to death? Like, aren't they eventually going to get tired of watching you making scrambled eggs, and they're going to go find somebody who is having an interesting dialogue, right? So I don't know, but I know people do that. I've seen people doing it, and I do think it backfires on you. I had a hospital administrator one time say to me, because I expressed shock at the links that they were willing to go to. I've got a terrible itch right at the top of my ear. I was in shock at the length, the amount of money that what they were doing with the hospital. And I thought, are we sure we want to do that? That seems a bit excessive, you know. And the hospital administrator said, hey, look, you might as well learn this now. He said, if you're not growing, you're dying. And I thought, yeah, I can see that. I can definitely wrap my head around that. So if you get to a point that you're losing viewers, you're losing subscribers, and you're afraid, and so the goal becomes to just do any old boring nonsense. You're not worried about it being interesting or entertaining or useful. Then maybe you're panicking. Maybe you fall into that mindset. If you're not growing, you're dying. And in your white knuckle grip to hang on to what you've earned, maybe you're actually throwing the baby out with the bathwater, right? So in that instance, you know, I would say sit back and reevaluate where you want to go, and can you do a show that is interesting, or are you simply trying to keep the camera running? Now, someone said, I believe it was Meecha, who can watch two Scooter playing with her doll? Yeah, it's too weird. You must be talking about the whole Jodi Arias content. But can I ask you a question? I just want to ask you a question. Would you rather listen to someone who is evaluating what's happening in the courtroom and the defendant's reactions to it, or do you need somebody to read to you like you don't know how to read English? Right? Which of those two situations is more interesting to listen to? So again, I think it's backfire. I don't think it's working out the way she thought it would work out, but I also am not, I'm not foolish. Her supporters will never admit what she does. They can't. They'll never admit it. In the same way that she carries on about how she's so bullied and people are mean to her, she nor any of her supporters have stopped to consider all of the hate that they have dished out onto other people. You have to ask yourself, why are all these people making content basically turning you into a cartoon? Why is VX Beast Boy making content saying you're an emotional manipulator and that makes you a horrible human being? Because that person has been very mean to people. There's been a lot of judgment. I mean, the judgmental righteousness is so off the charts. Somehow she believes that it's okay for her to say who should be allowed to be on YouTube and who should not be allowed to be on YouTube. Who's allowed to make money on YouTube, who's not. And most normal, regular people are taken back by that because they think, gosh, why are you the one thinking that you have any right to say that? YouTube set up a business model. They're the ones that wanted to do the monetization for creators, and it's working for them. They're a successful company. Why do you think that your silly, really skewed righteousness, why do you think that it's accurate? There's never an attempt to recognize that she has really, really hurt people. She gets in her mind these ideas and she runs with it like they're fact. That deal with Hello Starlight, she was 100% wrong. 100% wrong. Why can I say that with such conviction? Because I was there watching the chat live when it happened. I was there. I saw it. I know what was said. I know what happened. And what she said that Hello Starlight said and did was nowhere in reality. And she didn't care. When everybody began to tell her that she was wrong, she did not care. And she absolutely slandered Hello Starlight to Kingdom Coming Back for nothing. So that's that. Yeah. Okay. Hey, Love and Life, how are you? Yeah, it's worse than that. She records my chat. She doesn't have any problem with the things I say. Like, that's not a problem. What she's doing is she's recording the chat to see who the people are that are chatting, that are talking. And I have a video up. You can see it yourself. Where she says, ooh, let's see who's not scared to talk. Meaning she's going to take the recording back over to Weirdo, and say, oh, look who was in Joel's chat. And then, I don't know if you get public shamed or if there's flogging involved. I don't know. Maybe a little acid in the eyes. I don't know. I don't know what the punishment is for being in my channel. So, Jack Hughes. It is very crazy, Diane. It is very crazy. Just what I needed. Hi, Amber. My house floor. Obsession. Yeah, absolutely obsession. Yeah. So, so there's things that people do when they begin to notice they're losing views or they're losing subscribers. And the choices are always either just sublimely insane and chaotic or mind-numbingly boring, long content. When you stay online, there's 24 hours in a day, right? You sleep 3 hours, and then in the next group of 24, you're online for 18 collective hours, you have a problem. And it's probably that you're terrified that your channel is dying. And because you've been called out on being an emotional arsonist, because you've been called out for being an emotional manipulator, you can't resort to your old favorites of screeching. Oh, they have a script and they're bullying me and they're talking mean about my kid and they're talking mean about my husband and they're bullying and they're horrible. That ship has sailed. And so there has to be a different tactic, right? So I think it's really unhealthy. I just think that our focus, and I've been guilty of it. I'm, like I said, I'm not being a holier than thou, hypocrite. Of course, you don't want to spend a lot of time making content or trying to, do your YouTube channel and then not have anybody watch your content. Of course, that would be silly. Nobody wants to fail. But at the same time, I think that the more you get focused on the minutes and the views, the subscribers, I think it takes your mind off of the content that you're creating. I think you make a mistake in what you're providing. So I don't know, is there a goal to stay online 24 hours a day? I mean, there are people that stream that do that. But normally aren't they like college students? They're like young people, right? Not people, well, anyway. Or there's the chaos, the fighting and the screeching and the screaming and yelling. And then you'll see other people, and this is kind of what I'm guilty of. You'll see other people that begin to make a lot of different types of content, almost kind of like trying it out, like doing something different and then waiting to see how it goes over, right? So I've come to the conclusion that people do best when they're not even thinking about views or subscribers. I think our content improves dramatically when the focus is on the content. I think it all goes to hell in a handbasket when you get really focused in on, the money part of it. What do you guys think? I'll put a link if anybody wants to come up, copy the clipboard, and kind of give their opinion and their experience. Is Zelda here? Zelda, are you in here? Oh, it gave you, okay, so you see that channel, Political Crimes and Circus Clowns? That's me. That's my channel. But right now I'm in the Jewels of Thought channel. Hey, Floor. Seen a couple of creators stream for 8-hour shifts plus overtime without bathroom breaks. Good Lord. Maybe they're like that astronaut woman. You remember the astronaut that drove from Houston to Florida to Cape Canaveral because her astronaut boyfriend was like with his wife or something? She wore adult diapers. So she wouldn't have to stop and go to the bathroom. Obsessive people do bad things. The best tantrum I've ever seen was about you. About me? What did I do? I'm a nice person. What the hell did I do? If they put out good content, people will watch. Absolutely, Diane. 100%. There's no gimmick. When you start thinking that you're smarter than everybody else and you start trying these little gimmicks, it completely backfires. Absolutely. I agree with you 100%. Yep. Like looking to see what one channel is creating and then going behind them and basically stealing their title, but then you're not even making content. You're reading to a bunch of grown people. It's very weird. 3 years. Oh Lord. Oh, that was probably the one that made me go, okay. This just got weird very quickly. Hello. I am the host and you are the guest. How are you? Ong TV. Shug Ong TV. And the Snickers guy. If you build it, they will come. Kevin Costner, baby. Did anyone hear her say she received CP on her? I heard her say that, Margot, in a clip that was on one of the clip channels. I don't think I've seen anybody get as many videos made about them as what she's experiencing right now. And it's upsetting. It's hurtful, I promise you. Nobody wants to come up and chat? Okay. So, Meep. I like you too, Meep. She has got the red hotline to the FBI, Margot. Don't you know that? Margot, I'm shocked how silly and uninformed you are. Yes, a special hotline, special streamer hotline straight to the FBI. On AK, we had such a great live, Meep. It was so great. And that was going to be, thank you. Well, that was actually going to be my backup topic tonight. If my topic about the insanity of chasing views and chasing subscribers, if that topic did not go over very well, then the next thing I was going to talk about was Barry Morphew, because everybody knows I talk about Barry. That we did. I learned, believe it or not, I learned some things about Barry Morphew last night that I didn't know. And that is very strange because I thought that I had learned just about everything that there was to learn about him from a public realm, right? Obviously, I don't know him. So there's a lot of private stuff that I wouldn't, know about. But I learned a lot last night. It's a great live. If you didn't see it, how many of you guys saw it? If y'all were there, if you saw it, put a 1. Let me see. And I went live with the hairless ape and his very hairy friend. Where's his hairy friend? Hairy friend's here somewhere. Okay, let me share this. Hold on. All right. So there's the cutest hairless ape you'll ever see. So it was me and Jen from Australia and Cubby, who is from Indiana, who actually knows Barry Morphew and his family. Another day in the car with Jules. She was with us, and I love her to death. And then, Robert was there, who is AK's really good friend. And then Tube Crime was there, but he didn't go up on panel, but he was talking, everything. So it was a absolutely phenomenal. You know who else was there? Eric Evans. You may not know it. The way that I first met him was on Twitter, and his name is Snoop Dogg on Twitter. But he is really, he's an investigator. He's really into the Lori Vallow, Chad Daybell story. And he's one of these people that he files FOIA requests and Quora requests, and he goes in search of the hard data, right? But he doesn't go on these channels, and he doesn't, get up on camera and whatnot, but he's brilliant. He's a brilliant guy. He's really smart and to read when he makes, every now and then he'll put something up on Twitter, where he's reflecting on something he's learned or thought about. So he's a brilliant guy. Martin, of course, is a brilliant guy. So all of these amazing people were in the chat, and we had, because of Snoop Dogg, he got all of the videos of that were used in the preliminary hearing, and so AK basically showed the videos, and then we went through and kind of analyzed, what we were seeing and whatnot. So if you haven't seen it, I'm going to put the link up, but you don't have to leave my channel to rush over and watch. You can rush over and watch after we're finished in here, right? Just, to be nice to me. So let me get the channel, copy. But please don't leave me. See, now I've resorted to begging for minutes and views. I'm begging you not to cut my views short. So here's the link. Is there a way to, how do I pin that? I don't know how to pin it. Is it right click? No, left click? Nope. Well, I'll just leave it right there. Okay. So anyway, we had a great time. It was awesome. We had fun, and it was interesting, and we learned so much. And then do me a favor. Take a look at his views. This goes along with exactly what I've been saying. If you focus on making high quality or interesting or worthwhile content, the views, the minutes, the subscribers will all take care of themselves. But if your goal is simply make a paycheck, and you're going to resort to 17 hours of keeping your camera running at all costs, including reading to your subscribers like they're a bunch of third graders, you won't keep those views very long, right? So when I looked today and saw the views on his live last night, I was just like, damn, AK, this is crazy. But it's a great live. We had a great time. Look at his live with Jeff Puckett. Same thing. Same exact thing. It was great. So, yeah. Okay. Delta Ray Studios. Welcome to you, Delta Ray. Glad to have you. No fluff with that guy. No, well, and here's the deal, Karen. You don't have to have fluff if you're an honest person, right? If what you're putting out there is real, you don't require all the fluff. You're just doing it because it's worthwhile. And people pick up on that. People recognize it. So, yeah, absolutely. What about the lady who knows Susanna Berry? That was awesome. Yeah, Cubby, right? Was that her name? Cubby? So, I was actually very surprised to find out that one of the people that was on the channel with us, on the panel with us, she knows Barry. She grew up with Barry. And she provided some really interesting information. One thing that we had previously been told about Barry is that he was not allowed to play any other sports only baseball because that was going to be his claim to fame, right? That's that his dad wouldn't let him do anything else. He could only do baseball. That's what we were told. Well, this lady who actually grew up and like went running around in the same group he ran with and was good friends with his sister. And I mean, they knew a lot about each other, right? She said that Barry was on the basketball team. And she said there's pictures. The yearbook shows him there on the basketball team. And so, you know, so he was involved with those sports. Something that yeah, he did baseball, Allison, and then he did sign with the Toronto Blue Jays. He went to their farm team, but he didn't do very well. He was only there less than 2 years. He hurt his knee. He had knee surgery. He came back. He went to school at Purdue, and that was the end of it. So, and his father was devastated when he broke his knee and it was all over. He was devastated. Yeah, the other Cubby, that's what I was thinking, or QB. Yeah. Another thing that was said that I thought was pertinent and interesting was that Barry had a serious reputation when he was playing high school ball. And if he struck out, he would throw a 9-line fit. He would take his batting helmet off and he would throw it at the bench, that all the other players would jump up and try to get away from him because he would be so out of control in his, temper tantrum. And I when I heard that, I thought to myself, why did he think that a professional team would want him behaving like that? I mean, you look at Johnny Football. Johnny Football had the same types of problems that Barry does, but it was football, not baseball. And that was the thing that killed him. I mean, he was in terms of raw talent, Johnny Football was amazing, but because he had so many emotional mood type problems and behavioral problems, they just finally washed their hands and said, we're done with you, go away. I think it's really funny that you got a player who's obviously good, or he wouldn't have been signed, especially with these behavior problems. But he's a high school player. He's coming out of a little know-nothing town. Why didn't someone tell him to get his crap together? Why didn't someone say to him, Barry, those coaches don't want you around if you're a troublemaker. No one is a shining star once you make it up to the major leagues. They're just not there because everybody's the best of the best. They want a coachable player. They want someone who's going to be a team player, someone who's consistent, right? But so I was really surprised that they signed him after learning that, that he was a big baby. She called him a baby. She said he was always pouting, that he was quiet. He stood back with his hands in his pocket, leaned up against the wall, just watching people, that he just wasn't much of a fun person. And that there were a lot of people that didn't really understand why she was with him. So it's not a happy picture. Small town, good equals big time. Not so good. Absolutely, Allison. The big fish in the little pond is really not much when you toss them out in the ocean, right? I just retired from teaching. I really loved it. Arthritis, osteoporosis hit me hard. My immune system tanked. So my next goal is learning this. You know what, good grandma? You're never too old to quit learning, right? You got to keep on moving. That's exactly right. So you are always welcome here. And if you have any questions for me, good grandma, ask, and I will tell you everything that I've been able to teach myself. Okay. Why didn't his dad help him? He was a brat. Well, no, you know what, Grandma? I think that Barry was the more controlled compared to his dad. I think his dad was a worse problem than Barry. His dad had wanted to be a country and western singer, and he had a little brush with fame, with some success, but then he got left behind, and I think he got bitter, and he looked toward Barry as being kind of the savior of his dreams, and Barry's broke his knee, and that was the end of all of it. And I think that's when it all went to hell in a handbasket. Well, thank you, Mama Bees. Thank you so much. That makes me so happy. I appreciate that. My dad preached to me about lifelong learning. Absolutely. Yeah. You gotta keep on. And you know what? Here's the thing for me. When people are learning something new, they sleep better. There's a direct correlation between the brain having to incorporate and assimilate new memory into long-term storage and the stage 4 and REM sleep. So if you're having trouble sleeping, learn to play a new game. You'll start sleeping again. Thanks so much for all your content. Thank you, Crimea River. It's not brilliant. It's just, I'm just trying to think of something interesting to talk about. She slanders many people, putting them in their chat, calling them haters. And they're all liars, right? Everyone is a liar. Everyone is a hater. Everyone is a scammer. No one is telling the truth but her. They're all engaged in these big, elaborate schemes except her. No, I know. It's gotten very tiresome. Busy Mama, how are you? What? Of course, silly girl. How are you? How are you feeling about was it Fremont? You feeling good about Fremont County? Hey, Sammy Sparrow. Wordle. I haven't played Wordle. I play a lot of Candy Crush. All right. Suzanne wanted to help him. I got into this because Suzanne was having her 27th year of marriage. There you go, Flor Marina. I'll just circle back around on that, Slavinsky. I'm in late. You got a good name, by the way. Slavinsky. Putin. Vladimir Putin. All right. I'll have to look it up, T, please. Absolutely. I'll look it up and see. I have gone crazy with Candy Crush. I play when I'm trying to fall asleep at night. And which is dumb, right? Because then I'm like, oh, one more level. I actually did this past weekend. I couldn't sleep at all. And I had just walking the floors. And so I finally went into my little game room area and started up my my Oculus. And I want you to know, I sat there and played for 4.5 hours. I had indentations on my cheeks from where the goggles go. Had indentations on my cheeks, and I walked around all day mashing, trying to puff them back up again. I was terrified that they were going to stay that way. But I had so much fun playing my game. So much fun. In fact, when I finish here tonight, I'm going to go play. If you didn't ask to you... If you did not ask to use the photo above, I better not stay. Are you talking about AK? That's not a photo. This is the live from last night. See?
Thank you, Mr. Rudy.
It's the live from last night. It's not a photo. Yeah. So anyway, so you could, this is actually the area that I stopped the video on. That is Barry Morphew's living room. The fireplace is on the left and the kitchen's on the right. And so when you go over to AK's channel, you're going to see, well, so the newest video that we did last night was the panel where Cubby was there with us and we had this discussion. But then look at like 4 or 5 videos behind the one we did last night. And those are all the videos that were played during the preliminary trial. And hey, there's some really really interesting content. Let me kind of go through here. So what you're going to see right here, there's 2 videos that you're going to see these people. This kid right here, his name is Miles. This is actually Macy's boyfriend. All over, I believe that they have broken up. I don't have any way of knowing that to be fact, but that was what I was told. And then this is his father. And so he and Macy were really, really close, very close. His family helped take care of her. And so one of the things that AK points out in the video we did last night was making a comparison between the way their family responded to looking for Suzanne as compared to, you know, Barry, and how it's notable the difference of intensity, you know, and concern. So that was a very interesting part that we talked about last night. And then there's another part here. Hold on. You're going to see this video. You're going to see him walking through Barry's house. There he is in the kitchen. So, oh, here, this gives you a good, okay. So this one that's got Linda Stanley, that'll be the first video you see. That's the panel from last night. And there is a guest on there that knows Barry in real life. And she talks about things that happened when Barry was in high school. And then the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the next 5 videos, that's all from court. So you're going to want to watch those. But watch this one first, because AK does a really good job of kind of pointing out some inconsistencies, some interesting pieces of the video. Yeah, Miles is the boyfriend's name. All right. You've made me worried for the prosecution. I hope they listen to your talk regarding the trial. And that's where I think I'm probably really different from a lot of these people that do the whole true crime thing. I don't have any illusions that the prosecution gives a damn what I have to say or think. They don't care. I promise. I think that I think we know that the people that have been accused of these crimes, we know that they get on YouTube and they watch our videos. but I don't believe that the attorneys are doing that. I don't believe that. Of course, there was that weird, remember that thing that happened with, I don't remember who. Remember somebody got a download of information from Weld County related to the Chris Watts case, and there were clips of Armchair Detective and me, and there was another YouTube creator, and there was a lot of other stuff too. It wasn't just us, but our pictures were mixed in with those. So I don't know, maybe I could be wrong. Maybe they are watching, but I don't think, not for a minute, that anything that I would talk about or say would have any influence over a case, unless I did something horrible, like track down a witness and, record a witness and then put them up on my channel. And I would never do that. I know there are channels that have done it, and I've watched the content. I've done reaction videos to the content, but I would not be able to do it, because my fear would be that I would say or do something that would make it impossible to prosecute the case. Right? If I interfered with the successful prosecution of someone who committed a terrible crime, I wouldn't be able to live with myself. So I don't do that whole thing trying to call victims or call their family members, try to get interview. You'll never see that on my channel. I'll never do that. Never. Because I don't want to screw up a real court case. Yeah. So what about DA? Oh man, Allie, that was crazy. So toward the end of this live, that is where you will find Another Day in the Car, Jules. And AK brought up something about Linda Stanley and Jules. And I was like, what is it? I've never heard of this. So she comes up on the panel. She tells us the story. I'm not going to tell the story, because you can go over to AK's channel and listen to the video and get it straight from Jules. She lives she doesn't live in Salida, but she's, in the Colorado area. And she and her husband on weekends, they go out and they look for missing people and things like that. She makes videos about it. So she is a brilliant woman. She is brilliant. So you should go, and if you haven't started listening to her channel, it's called Another Day in the Car. You should go. But Linda Stanley, listen to this. Linda Stanley, after Jules does something, and you'll have to watch AK's video to see it, but after Jules does something, it gets under Linda's skin, and she spends precious time hunting Jules down to say, why'd you say that? Why'd you do that? I said this. I didn't say that. And she had this whole debacle of a Barry Morphew prosecution bearing down on her. So I'm thinking, lady, why are you wasting time looking for a YouTuber when you are completely bombing your prosecution? But anyway, you'll have to go to AK's to listen to the story, because it is crazy. Crazy. And to me, I felt like it was borderline kind of abusing her power, abusing her position. It's an uncomfortable story. Y'all gonna have to go listen to it. It's uncomfortable. So, all right. Okay, so to finish up tonight, because I know everybody now, you're all like, I gotta go over to AK's channel. Okay, stay with me 1 minute. So, as YouTube creators, none of us want to see our channels go bad, or we wouldn't be doing this, whether we're doing it just for money or we're doing it because we enjoy putting content out there, whatever, we have a talent, whatever. But something happens where I think everybody goes to a period where your views fall off, your subscribers may drop, and you're left kind of going, oh my gosh, what's happening? Why is this happening? I haven't found the connection yet. I don't think there's any kind of magical, kind of combination lock, that you have to do. I don't believe any of that anymore. I think that it really is fairly organic. And if you make good content, meaning it's either skilled quality in editing, or it's really interesting, you have some kind of special talent or some special education that gives you a level of insight maybe that another person might not have, or you have an incredible encounter that gives you exposure or access to new knowledge. Unless you have something of value to offer, it doesn't matter how long you stay keeping your camera on while you do Reading Rainbow. You're eventually going to lose even the people that are being loyal because it's boring. What you're doing is boring, right? They're also not going to stick around very long for the screaming and the yelling and the being mean and creating drama. They may initially react to step up and protect the fearless leader, but they're going to become weary eventually. It's going to grow old and they're just going to think, gosh, could we get back to something worthwhile, right? So I don't know. I think for me, after kind of studying this for a couple of years, I've reached the point that when I start to notice that maybe my views have gone down or I'm losing subscribers, I actually pull back a little bit. I actually don't make any content for a week or so and kind of regroup and try to come up with something, which is where I came up with the whole Jodi Arias, revisit. But I guess it was such a good idea that someone else decided to do a Reading Rainbow room. So anyway, I am glad you found it too, T King. Welcome. And I love blue hearts. So I'm glad you're here. Thank you. This is actually, T King, this is actually different than what I normally do. I enjoy talking about live trials and I love interrogations. And so I make commentary, things I see that I notice from, from my training and whatnot. So it's different. This is different for me to just kind of go live and just kind of, jabber. Pilot Pete, thank you. Hope you and Piddle and Bill are doing great. We are actually doing very well. So thank you for that. It is, it's supposed to be turning off cold here, but I'm afraid to say that because I think half of the country is like at 0 degrees or below, right? Is it snowing on your head? We don't have any snow so far. I said, I'm done with the crime stuff. Then you came on. Oh, well, Allison, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. All right. Yeah, I just get so worried with all this interviewing of real people and they're looking at a potential trial coming down the road. And look, things can go wrong quickly in a trial situation. And if you're the victim's family, do you really want to see it go off the rails because you went on a YouTuber channel? You don't, I would have a really hard time forgiving myself if I, did it. And I'm not being a hypocrite. I do watch the videos where people are interviewed, and that's because I watch the interrogations. I watch the live trials, and so it's it's interesting. All right, it's an ice storm in Texas. You must be up like around Amarillo. -19. Ooh. That's terrible. Thank you, Karen. Yeah, I'm kind of like on this mission. Everybody wants to say, "Oh, he's such a narcissist," right? So Dr. Ramani made narcissistic personality disorder famous. When it made her a boatload of money too, but she made it like a living room word, right? Everybody knows now the word narcissism. The problem is not everyone has narcissism. There are a lot of different kinds of personality disorders. Narcissism is one of them. So I've kind of made it like my little pet project to try and contrast when I see other situations that are not really so narcissistic, but maybe they're histrionic or maybe even borderline or antisocial. I mean, there's all different kinds of personality disorders. And so I've kind of made it, my pet project to try at least to make people notice different things. Not just because somebody has a personality disorder, they're not automatically narcissistic. There are many other types. And you look at someone like Jody, and she's diagnosed with borderline personality disorder. She has narcissistic features, or they may have actually given her an NPD once she got to prison, and she's got psychopathic tendencies. So that she may even have an antisocial personality disorder. So she got a whole laundry list of trouble happening. So cry me a river. You are too sweet. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. All right. So any other questions? Thank you, Scarlett. Could a person develop an interactive channel to tutor kids in reading? It's 11 degrees. Wow. Oh my God. Thank God I'm not in Kansas. What did they say? You're not in Kansas anymore, Toto? Yes, of course you could do an interactive. Of course. More and more we are learning so much about even doing therapy with children online using a Zoom type platform, right? So in the beginning of COVID, I did do, I did have, did I? Let me make sure. No, I did. I had a 5-year-old. Yeah, but it was different. I can't talk about why or how, but I kind of made a rule for myself that, okay, no more elementary age kids for the virtual therapy, right? There's so many problems associated with it. You've got to realize children, their first language is play. When they have to translate their thoughts and emotions into language, they're losing a lot. And so it is laborious for them to try to explain or to try to hear you and then translate that into their, amygdala, the emotional responses of the brain. So it's cumbersome and hard. It's hard for them to do. Teenagers, you do fine. They can do really well online, and there's plenty of activities you can use, and that's not a problem. And then of course adults do very well with virtual therapy. But more and more now that we're several years into this thing, more very creative and brilliant psychologists and therapists and social workers, they have developed some really, really great interactive kind of apps using like video game, like phone apps, games and such, and connected it to some therapy processes. And so there are some pediatric therapists that are doing great work doing therapy with kids online, but they found a way to use play, right? So you definitely, if you find a therapist who's working with elementary age kids, doing virtual therapy, that is a therapist who is very good at what they do, because it's an art form of the highest order. Takes a lot of knowledge, a lot of skill. Can you segment on different personality disorders? I can, Margot, and that's kind of what that was my thought that I would do, going back with the live interrogations and the live trial footage, but because ethically I have to be careful. I have to be sure that people that I talk about with a very specific tag, they had to have gotten that diagnosis. It had to have been made public during the trial, like with Jody. Then I can talk about it. But just like I did with, oh, maybe I didn't. I don't think I did. I recorded three videos, but I haven't put them up yet. So probably what I'll end up doing is I'll probably do like one personality disorder and kind of do it like, here are the features and here are the rollouts, blah, blah, blah. And then show the interrogation that shows examples of those features. I might do it that way. But it's got to be somebody who, got diagnosed at some point in the trial. So. I don't know who 1S. Oh, no. People who are 15 who shoot schools up. Whew. That's a huge question. Okay. So in all of the cases, and I have 17 school shootings. In all of those cases, there was not one example, not one. There was not one example of someone who was considered popular that shot up, the schoolroom. In all of the cases, there were at least known bullying. And in many of the cases, the kid was actually receiving services for having been bullied. There's also a high level, there's a preponderance of kids that did this that were, how should I say it? Their custody had been in question. Either they were in the foster care system, or they were adopted, or they were being sort of pushed around from family member to family member. Well, that one, for me, that's really telling, right? Because that gets you into the whole identity, problem. So I think, just like anybody would naturally say, any kid that's ready to go into a school and shoot everything up, that's a kid who has got the weight of the world on their shoulders and they're backed against a wall. And the question is, what's happened to back you up against the wall? It really is not a situation where people say, well, my girlfriend broke up with me, I think I'll go shoot everybody. In those types of situations, it's usually, my girlfriend broke up with me, now I'm going to kill myself. It's an internal focus. But I just think if you find someone who's trying to make the argument that people that go and shoot up their school, that they're not angry at the world, you're wrong. They are. And a majority of that 17 a majority, there was actual knowledge by the school that the kid was being bullied by many people. So it's a sad, it's a sad, awareness, but it is what it is. Absolutely, me. And that one, it actually looked like he was very angry with his mother. That was like a lashing out at his family. I keep getting phone calls. I don't know why. Okay, that's my ex from years ago, but through many family members. Barry behind bars is quiet tonight. I put a towel over Barry's prison cell, so it did help. Okay. All right, everybody. Thank you guys for being here. You're awesome. I appreciate you more than you know. And I promise you, I'll never just, read Dr. Seuss to you for 12 hours out of 24. I promise. Okay. So let me put the link one more time for the live last night. We had so much fun. It was so informative. Really, it's been a long time since I was on a panel that I enjoyed as much or that I learned as much. I mean, it was so great because AK, he gave me and Jen an opportunity to ask Cubby whatever we wanted to ask her. And so she had some really great questions. I had a list of questions that I had wanted to know about Barry, things I was curious about his childhood, his family, and that kind of thing. And she was amazing. So we've probably got probably 30 minutes, 35 minutes where me and Jen just ask this lady questions that has known the family for years and years. So we didn't ask anything that would be embarrassing or, nothing like that. It's pretty general kind of questions, so. All right. So I hope you'll go over there and watch the live. It was great. And don't forget, there's like 5 more videos there that are from Chaffee County that are body cams, right? So it's just like the Chris Watts case all over again. Oh my God in heaven. Oh my God. It's going to be crazy before it's all over with. His case has been moved to Fremont County. It's about an hour away. And he has a new number, 2022-4027, I believe is his new number for his case. So, yeah. All right. I hope you'll go watch. Tell him that Jules sent you. All right. And thank you guys for watching. I hope you give me thumbs up or thumbs down, depending on whether or not you enjoyed the content. I hope you will leave me a comment because I absolutely love reading all your comments. And I meant to tell you and I forgot. If you want to laugh your ass off, you got to go over to Zelda's channel. She's got a hilarious video being Granny Scammer. Let me see, get her link because, oh my God, I was laughing so hard today. Oh, wait a minute. It seems like I may be having some kind of problem. find the link to the funny video that Zelda put up. Oh, hilarious. She totally turns the table on one of these guys from India or Nigeria that calls to tell you that you've won $1 million. Oh, Zelda's live right now. Oh, no, here it is. All right, so I'm gonna put the video up to give you the link of the funny video, but Zelda's live right now. Copy. All right. Yeah, my understanding, Grandma, is that most people that are visually impaired, they have a reader that's part of their computer, so that anything that comes up, it gets done. All right. Okay, everybody. Y'all have a great evening. Thank y'all for being here. I appreciate it so much. Zelda's a hoot. I love Zelda. All right. See y'all later. Y'all have a good evening. Bye.